Well, everyone, let's go and take a look at the Apple Watch Series 5 and see how this specific watch holds up in 2023. Now, it's been a few years since this watch even came out, and what I will definitely tell you is this is still a pretty decent watch to pick up. Funny enough, the main watch that I use every single day, the watch that I've been using probably for like a better half over a year now, is actually an Apple Watch Series 4. So if you buy the Series 5 or if you plan on buying it, you'll actually own a watch that is better than the one I actually use. And I will definitely tell you my Series 4 has given me an amazing experience. And I will also add that the Apple Watch Series 5 can only give you an even better experience on top of that. So big things to keep in mind. If you want to pick up an Apple Watch, links will be down in the description. You can get that from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of the Apple Watch Series 5, this watch actually looks very good still. So on the outside of the Apple Watch Series 5, we have a few different options we could choose from. You can either choose the smaller 40mm size, or you could choose the bigger 44mm size. Now, typically, I do like using the bigger sized, Apple Watches whenever I can, so that's always been something I prefer, but the 40mm size is still very good, and I know a lot of people who use that specific size as well, and they love it. So I have nothing against either one. I think both of them do their job fairly well. One really cool thing that I love about these Apple Watches is that the bands work exactly the same on all the watches, whether you own the first Apple Watch or you own the Apple Watch Ultra. Now, you do have to get the size, in this particular situation. So you have to make sure that if you're buying the smaller size or the bigger size, that those watch bands, they don't interchange between them. But they do interchange from like 42, 44, 45mm size, and the 38, 40, and the 41mm sizes. So keep that in mind. The Series 5, you'll find bands all over the place, and that's one thing I really like about these specific Apple Watches. The display is also very good. I really don't think Apple's changed a crazy amount of things with the display in the last year. I think the Series 7 brought a lot of changes, but this watch probably was the one that ended up changing one of the cooler things with the specific display that's actually with an always-on display. So you have the ability of actually turning or enabling an always-on display on the Apple Watch Series 5. The Series 4 didn't have it. I don't know, I've heard a lot of conflicting things whether people used it or not, but it's a nice feature to have, and I'm glad they kept it, at least on the future models. Now on the side of the watch, we do have our little, knob that we can turn around, which is cool. We have our, side button as well. And on the back, another cool thing Apple did is that they kept the same charger for all their Apple Watches. So all their Apple Watches have been using the same exact charger for since they've been made. So they still don't support any other wireless chargers. So you can't charge your Apple Watch from your phone yet, which is annoying. It has to use its own proprietary charger. But I do like it because they've been using the same one over and over again. And I've been using the same Apple Watch charger on all my watches since the first one I've owned to this fourth one. So definitely some cool stuff. This watch is still a little bit water resistant. I wouldn't claim that it's waterproof, but it is a little bit more, not bulletproof. I guess a little bit more, resistant to some things, water resistance up to 50 meters, which is really nice. So in terms of that kind of covers up everything on the outside. Now, some cool things to keep in mind as well. This watch has 32 gigabytes of storage built in. It was twice the amount of storage than the previous model. So I think that's a really cool thing that Apple actually ended up doing here too. On top of that, you still have the standard LTE models, the cellular models right there, and all those cool things that you have within a watch. Now, another big thing, this thing has that S5 chip inside of it. So it isn't like the latest S8 chip, but I still think it's a pretty decent performing chip. We'll talk about that in a second. But this thing is still going to be getting software support for a little bit of time. The thing to keep in mind is that the Series 4 is currently the lowest supported Apple Watch right now. The Series 3 got discontinued not that long ago. So the Series 4 is probably going to be here till the end of this year. The Series 5, if you plan on buying it today or this year, you'll probably be able to use it this year, next year, and then maybe a security update in 2025, and that's probably going to be it. So it's not going to be an unlimited amount of things you can do. So probably keep that in mind, but I think it's okay. It's not the biggest deal breaker in the world, and I still think this is a pretty decent watch when it comes down to it. Now, from the performance side, really everything that I do on my Apple Watch is fairly basic. I just typically look at text messages, seeing if I'm getting a phone call. A big thing that I do is, track my workouts. So whether I'm running or, sprinting or whatever, usually I'll be able to track those things on my watch, and it does a pretty good job. So the Apple Watch Series 5 should be even more accurate than my Series 4, and that's a pretty big thing to keep in mind. But even if you wanted to go ahead and kind of, use your Apple Watch even more, I don't even know what you could do here. You do have a lot of stuff built into this watch, which is still really nice. You still have your high and low rate, heart notifications, so it'll detect if you, have an irregular heart rhythm, whatnot. So that's still really cool. still download a bunch of applications from the Apple Watch App Store. So there's still a lot of cool stuff here. You can take calls on your watch. So you all kind of know how to use an Apple Watch by now. It's nothing new, but it's still a cool thing that they have here. And, it's something that, I would recommend looking into if you plan on buying an Apple Watch. So overall, what I'll definitely tell you is the only thing I could even think about with this watch is when you compare it against the Series 8. Yes, the Series 8 is a better watch. It has probably a little bit, like a few more things going for it. I wouldn't even say it has a lot more going for it. For everything that I do with my Apple Watch, I guess it's not like an iPhone where every year there's new things and it's like a way bigger upgrade. With watches, it's not really like that. I've never really felt like that. So in this case, I feel like you're still getting a very good premium Apple Watch. I would say as long as your iPhone supports the Apple Watch, you're good to go. And in this case, since the Apple Watch is still supported, you should be able to go and buy any iPhone that's still supported and be able to use them side by side. So in terms of that, that's kind of how both these how the Apple Watch Series 5 holds up in 2023. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.